Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're tackling a medium-level problem called number of smooth descent periods of a stock. This is a really great problem for practicing dynamic programming concepts, or honestly just good logical observation. It sounds a bit technical, but the core idea is actually quite simple. We're going to break it down step by step, look at the intuition, and then write some clean code to solve it. Let's get started. First, let's look at what we're actually asked to do. We are given a list of integers called prices. These represent the stock price on consecutive days. Our goal is to count the number of smooth descent periods. Now, what exactly is a smooth descent period? The problem defines it as one or more contiguous days, where the price on each day is exactly one less than the price on the day before it. Importantly, a period consisting of just a single day also counts as a smooth descent period. So we're looking for sequences like 3, 2, 1, but also just 3 by itself. Let's clarify this definition because it's the key to the whole solution. A smooth descent implies a strict, step-by-step drop. We aren't looking for just any decrease. It has to be exactly -1 each time. Also, remember that a single day is always a valid period. So if we have a sequence like 5, 4, 3, the list containing just 5 is valid. The list 5, 4 is valid. And the list 5, 4, 3 is valid. We need to find the total count of all such valid subarrays in our entire price history. Okay, let's walk through the first example from the problem description to see how the numbers add up. We have the prices 3, 2, 1, and 4. Let's look at this day by day. First, we have the price 3. The only period ending here is just the list containing 3 itself, so that's one period. Next, we have 2. 2 is exactly 1 less than 3, so we can extend the previous period. We have the period containing just 2, and the period 3, 2. That's 2 periods ending on this day. Then comes 1. It's exactly 1 less than 2. So again, we extend. We have 1 by itself, 2, 1, and 3, 2, 1. That's 3 periods. Finally, we hit 4. 4 is not 1, less than 1. The pattern breaks, so we reset. The only period ending here is just 4 itself. That's 1 period. If we sum these up, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1, we get 7. Did you notice the pattern in that walkthrough? This is the aha moment. When the current price continues the smooth descent, meaning it's exactly 1 less than yesterday's price, the number of smooth periods ending today is simply the number of periods that ended yesterday, plus 1. Why? Because every valid period from yesterday can be extended by adding today's price, creating a new valid period. And on top of that, today's price by itself starts a new period. If the price doesn't follow the rule, the chain is broken. We can't extend anything from the past. So the number of periods ending today resets to just 1, representing the current day itself. Just a quick heads up before we dive into the solution. We'll be walking through the logic using Python code, but don't worry if that's not your main language. I've included full solutions for Java, C++, and JavaScript towards the end of the video, so stick around for those. This problem screams dynamic programming. The editorial suggests a DP approach, but honestly, it's so efficient it feels like a simple greedy iteration. The core intuition is that to avoid recounting or double-checking, we just count how many smooth periods end on each specific day. Since the answer for today only depends on yesterday, we don't need to store the history for the entire year. We just need a single variable to remember the count from the previous step. We'll update this count as we iterate through the list, and keep a running total of our answer. Okay, we've talked about the big picture and the logic. Now let's see what this looks like as actual code. I'll put the full solution up on the screen first. And don't worry, after that, we'll walk through the most important sections together. Alright, here's the Python code. It matches the logic we discussed perfectly. We initialize our result and our previous tracker. Then we loop through the prices starting from the second day. Inside the loop, we check our descent condition and update our trackers. Finally, we return the total result. Let's zoom in a bit. First, we set up our variables. We get the length of the prices list. We initialize our result variable, called res, to 1. Why 1? Because the very first day in the list counts as a period, no matter what. Similarly, we set our previous variable to 1. This variable represents the number of smooth descent periods ending at the index just before the one we're currently looking at. Since we're about to start our loop from index 1, previous holds the count for index 0. Now for the engine of our solution. We loop from 1 up to the end of the list. Inside the loop, we check our special condition, Is the price at the current index I exactly equal to the price at I minus 1, minus 1? In plain English, did the price drop by exactly $1? If it did, we increment our previous counter. This signifies that we've extended our smooth streak. If it didn't drop by exactly 1, we hit the else block, and we reset previous back to 1. This means the streak is broken, and we're starting fresh with just the current day. Finally, regardless of what happened, we add the value of previous to our total result, res. This adds up all the valid periods ending on the current day. It's always good practice to double-check edge cases. What if our input list has only one price? Well, our loop starts from range 1, so if the length is 1, the loop never executes. We simply return res, which was initialized to 1. This is correct. A single day is one period. What if the prices are going up, like 1, 2, 3? Our if condition will never be true. Previous will constantly be reset to 1. The result will just be the total number of days, which is also correct. Also, a quick note on data types. If the array is large and perfectly descending, our answer could be huge. Roughly the number of days squared divided by 2. Python handles big numbers automatically, but in languages like Java or C++, we need to make sure we use a 64-bit integer, like a long, to store the result. So, how efficient is this? For time complexity, it's big O of n. We walk through the list of prices exactly once, doing a constant amount of work for each day. It's as fast as reading the input. For space complexity, it's big O of 1, or constant space. We aren't creating a new DP array or storing any history lists. We just use two simple integer variables, res and previous, updating them as we go. This makes the solution extremely memory efficient. Alright, that covers the main solution in Python. As promised, for those of you who code in other languages, I'm about to show the full solutions for Java, C++, and JavaScript. I won't be breaking these down line by line, so just pause the video on your language of choice to check it out. Here is the full solution in Java. Remember to use long for the result variable to avoid any integer overflow issues with large inputs. You can pause here to study it. Next up, here is the C++ version. Similar to Java, we use long to ensure we have enough bits to store the potentially large answer. Feel free to pause and review. And finally, here is the solution in JavaScript. JavaScript numbers are safe integers up to a very large value, so we don't need special types here. Hopefully, seeing it in your preferred language helps solidify the concept. So let's wrap it up with a few key takeaways. First, for subarray problems, always look for a pattern connecting the current position to the previous one. Often you can extend the previous result. Second, keep an eye out for space optimizations. If you notice you only ever look back one step, throw away the array and just use a variable. And finally, always check your constraints. Recognizing when a result might overflow a standard integer is a hallmark of a careful engineer. Alright, before we head out, I want to quickly show you a personal project I built to solve a problem that always drove me crazy. It's an app called My Daily To-Do. My biggest frustration with every other to-do app was retyping the same things every single day. Go to the gym, review code, work on the daily Leetcode problem. You know the drill, so I built my app around one simple but powerful idea, separating your routine tasks from your one-off tasks. Routine tasks, marked with the little refresh icon, automatically reset for the next day. One-off tasks, like ship new feature, get the little puff of smoke icon, and they disappear for good once you're done. This small change turns a dumb checklist into a smart scheduler. If that sounds useful, you can try it right now on the web. The link is in the description. And one more thing I want to make super clear. Right now, as a thank you for being an early supporter, the app is 100% free. There are no ads and no subscriptions whatsoever. This means you get access to everything, including really powerful features like presets, which let you save entire task lists and load them with a single tap. Now down the road, creating new presets will likely become part of a premium plan to help support the channel. But, and this is the important part, any presets you create now, while it's all free, are yours to keep and use forever. So it's the perfect time to check it out on the web, play with all the features, and build out your perfect setup at no cost. If you enjoyed this problem and want to keep practicing, the learning doesn't have to stop here. I've organized all my video solutions into handy playlists. Whether you're looking to grind through more Leetcode easy, medium, or hard problems, or you want to master a specific topic like sliding window or dynamic programming, I've got a playlist for you. It's the perfect way to focus your study sessions. Go to the playlist tab and find a playlist that fits your goals. Also, if you're looking for even more Leetcode problems beyond the daily challenge, I've started a second channel called Leetcode Unlocked. It's where I'll be posting solutions to a ton of other problems, So if you're serious about your interview prep, be sure to check it out. The link is in the description below. Hope this Leetcode solution breakdown made sense. If it helped, give that like button a click, maybe subscribe for more, or drop a comment if you have questions. Make sure to turn on the notification bell so you know straight away when I upload a video, because I upload videos daily. If you want to support the channel, a few people have asked how I plan my solutions. I'm a big fan of sketching out the logic and data structures on a tablet before I code. It really helps. I've put affiliate links in the description to the tablet I use and a few other good options. Using those links doesn't cost you anything extra but really helps me out. Or, if you're feeling generous, there's always the Boba Fund. Keep coding, and I'll catch you in the next one.